Now, trying to get hold of the OnePlus phones here in Malaysia is really not an easy task. And thanks to the guys from DirectD, I've managed to now not only get the OnePlus 7 Pro but also the OnePlus 7T Pro and compare these two phones to help you make a purchase decision. So keep watching. Hey, what's up guys, Adam Lobo here and you're watching Adam Lobo TV. If you guys are new, hello and welcome. Do consider subscribing to my channel as I release videos at least twice a week. And if you're returning as a subscriber, as usual, welcome back my friends. You are awesome. Now, like my Xiaomi Mi 9T and the Mi 9T Pro video comparison that I did, the purpose of this video is to give you a proper comparison so that you can actually understand which device that you guys could go for. Because these two phones comes with the same retail price here in Malaysia, which is quite weird. So let's check out what exactly are the differences between these two phones. Now, starting from the design and build, it is the same. And just for the sake of comparison, the OnePlus 7 Pro that I am comparing is the one in mirror black and the OnePlus 7T Pro is in haze blue. Now, there is indeed a difference in the color finishes for both phones, where the haze blue on the OnePlus 7T Pro has a matte finish and the OnePlus 7 Pro has a glossier finish. But it does not mean that this matte finish is not slippery, because it is kind of slippery still. And the dimensions and the build and the weight is exactly the same for both of the phones, so there's no difference over there. And then looking at the ports and buttons, OnePlus still remains the alert slider on the right to easily switch between silent, vibrate and ring, which currently only OnePlus devices and iOS devices only have, which is great. So other Android phones, try to put this. And both phones do not come with a micro SD card slot expansion, so keep that in mind. Now, both displays are the same at 6.67 inches. It has a curved style glass which uses the fluid AMOLED screen, so you will get a really nice screen with a high resolution of 1440 by 3120 pixels, where you have the option to change the screen resolution on the display properties. Now, the optical in-display fingerprint sensor is one of the fastest compared to other optical fingerprint sensors that I've tested on other phones. And yes, the 90Hz refresh rate lives up to its hype of being amazing. And using the phone daily makes me feel spoiled that you don't want to go back to a regular screen refresh rate after using this phone as my daily driver. So yes, navigating and consuming videos was great, especially since there is no notch present, and it is a certified HDR device for Netflix as it has a HDR Plus screen, so consuming videos on Netflix and also YouTube was great as well. Now, as for the phone's cameras, it has the same specs of a 48 megapixel f1.6 aperture and 8 megapixel f2.4 aperture, 78mm telephoto lens and a 16 megapixel f2.2 aperture, 13mm ultra wide angle lens. Now, just in case you guys are wondering what is this line or a sensor at the back of the OnePlus 7T Pro, that is the laser autofocus sensor, where it is also available on the OnePlus 7 Pro, but it is placed in between the lenses. Now, since the phone is still new, I could not get the Gcam app to work properly on the phone, so I just used the stock camera app within the phone itself. Now, although I knew that both phones' cameras were the same, but just for the sake of it, I still decided to take photos on both phones to compare side to side. And yes, there's no differences between both phones, as you guys can see. Now, as for image quality, OnePlus has updated their camera app to make the pictures look better, and I have to say that the pictures surely improved compared to the previous generation. I also love the consistency between all the lenses for ultra-wide, 1x and also the 3x zoom during daytime shots. And I have to say that I love the ultra-wide angle lens a bit more, since it does not have the typical action camera fisheye kind of effect on the sides as well. Now, as for the portrait mode, the edge detection was a hit or miss, especially when there are a bit of a complicated shapes. But I love the flexibility of having two options, like taking a wider and also a close-up portrait as well. Now, looking at the night shots, OnePlus has implemented the Nightscape mode, which is the night mode for OnePlus devices. And here's where you can see the difference between the ultra-wide angle lens and also the main lens, where the ultra-wide angle lens was a bit more noisier and wasn't as sharp, but the overall pictures were decent. As for the phone's front camera, both has the same pop-up camera of a 16 megapixel f2.0 aperture, and again both phones' camera took the exact same pictures. While looking at the image quality, the images turn out great, and there is a huge improvements on the portrait selfie, which had a way nicer background blur compared to the OnePlus 6 or even the OnePlus 6T, where you only could get those kind of pictures on the Gcam app on the previous models. Now as for video, both phones are able to record up to UHD 2160 up to 60 frames per second with the super stable mode only at 1080p. Now video quality again was the same, where I had great quality video recording at UHD 4K, and the image stabilization was also great, but it seems to be a bit more stable when using the wider lens. And there's also the super steady mode, but again it only works at 1080p. Then as for the front camera, it records up to 1080p up to 30 frames per second, where the image stabilization was great. And let's check out the audio recording capabilities for both phones.
So I'm using the front-facing camera for both the phones and to test how is the audio and also the video stabilization for both the phones. So let's see how it goes. Both phones are just next to me over here.
Now speaking of audio, both phones has a stereo speaker right down below and also at the earpiece, and the speakers did sound loud and properly balanced. I kinda liked it, and here's a quick sound test.
Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Now as for the phone's battery, the OnePlus 7 Pro comes with a 4000 mAh of battery, and the OnePlus 7T Pro comes with just a higher 4085 mAh of battery. And the OnePlus 7 Pro gave me a screen on time of 5 hours and 50 minutes when I was at 10% battery. And the OnePlus 7T Pro gave me a total of 6 hours and 1 minute of screen on time at 10% battery, with the resolution on auto switch and also the screen refresh rate at 90Hz. And what's great is that both phones comes included with a 30-watt warp charger inside of the box, which gave me from 0 to 50% charge under 26 minutes, which was quite amazing. Now as for the phone software, both phones comes currently with the Android 10, and again, up until now, the Oxygen OS skin on this phone is still my favorite Android skin, and at this point in time I like it just a bit more than the stock Android, as navigating, scrolling and multitasking is just perfect, especially with the fact that it has a 90Hz screen refresh rate as well. Then there's also other features like the shelf, where if you swipe right at the home screen, you can write memos, have your steps counted and go to the app shortcuts and also the recent apps over there. Then there's also a screen recording feature or audio from a call, which can be found at the notification menu. Now when it comes to gaming, both phones had a very good gaming quality, and yes, both phones comes with the same Adreno 640 GPU, and I did find that the OnePlus 7 Pro became a bit warmer during a longer gameplay compared to the OnePlus 7T Pro, and this could be because of the Snapdragon 855 Plus, which is present on the OnePlus 7T Pro compared to just the Snapdragon 855 on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Alright guys, in conclusion, I'm just gonna put it plain and simple. Fortunately, here in Malaysia, both of these phones comes with the same retail price of 3,399 ringgit for the 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. And since there's only just a single variant of the OnePlus 7T Pro, it is a no-brainer for you guys to go with this phone compared to the OnePlus 7 Pro, since it comes with the latest Snapdragon chipset and also with a bigger battery as well. But if you have a lower budget and rather to spend lesser, then you can go with the OnePlus 7 Pro with a lower RAM and the storage options, since it does come with the same exact camera lenses, where you can see the whole price list, which are listed down at the description below, where you can see the color options over there as well. And speaking of prices, I would like to give a huge shout out to the guys from DirectD for sending out these two phones. And yes, if you want to get the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7T and even the OnePlus 7T Pro, check out the website and all their retail stores, which I'll link it down below. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys found this video helpful in making your purchase decision. And if you did, be sure to give this video a nice big thumbs up. Like, share and subscribe to Adam Lobo TV if you haven't done so. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. just next to it to get notified for my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is Adam Lobo, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.